Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm gonna show you how to do a land use land cover classification using a random forest classifier inside the QGIS environment. I'm gonna use Sentinel-2 data for these classifications. Then let's start how we can do this. First of all, I'm gonna download Sentinel-2 data from Copernicus website that I will provide its link in the caption of this video. From logging, I need to log in into my account. If you don't have any account, you can register first and it's gonna be available your username and password. Then you can input them here and click on login. In the next step, from search, I'm going to search for Sentinel-2 data that I told you before. Before that, define your study area from create an area of interest. Use, for example, a rectangle. Today I'm going to do my classification here. Click. And again, when you want to finish, click again. Select the data that you are interested in downloading, for example, Sentinel-2. Here you can decrease or increase the percentage of cloud cover, for example, 20. And level 1C. In the next step, I'm going to define my time range. For example, I'm interested in having a list of all available images from 1st of July until the end of, let's say, end of August, for example. And click on search. It's going to take a while in order to provide you all available datasets. Since I have less datasets, I'm going to change the time range in order to have much more. For example, 1st of July this time. Okay, very good. For example, I'm gonna work in this area and I have one good quality image. In order to download it, click on download from here. You can see its process. It's gonna take a while in order to be downloaded. Then I have to wait until that time. When it's down, you can see that it's asking about the output folder to save the data. I'm gonna create a new folder on my desktop as the name land use. Inside that also Sentinel-2. Okay, click on save. It's in a zip format. Then I'm gonna go to the folder in order to extract it. Right click and use WinRAR software in order to extract files. As I said before, I'm gonna do a land use land cover classification inside the QGIS environment. To do this, I'm gonna open my QGIS software. First of all, I'm gonna go to plugins. From plugins, manage and install plugins. In search, I'm looking for semi-automatic classification plugins. I'm gonna use this plugin in order to do a classification. Here we have a brief information regarding these tools. Here you can see category and also tags everything that is required to know. Here we will have an option. The name is install plugins. Since I have installed this one, I don't need to do this. However, you can click on install plugin. It's gonna be added inside your QGIS environment like this, for example. When it's down, you can click on that and you can see your SCP doc in the left or right part of your screen. Okay, very good. I'm going to show you different parts of this plugin. First of all, I'm going to start with this one, with bandset. As the first step in order to land use land cover classification, I'm going to create a bandset. In bandset, we can call our bands directly from our drivers that I will show you in the next part, or we can upload them inside the QGIS environment. Then from inside the QGIS environment, we can add bands loaded in the QGIS environment here. If you want to move up or you move down your bands, you can use these two options. If you want to sort them, you can use this one too. In a case of, let's say, necessary, you can delete your bands. If you are interested, just click on the band and click on delete row. If you want to reset your band set, you can use this one. And also we have this import and also export band sets. If you have already available band sets, you can import as a text file inside the band set tab. In the down part, we have wavelengths. If I click on that, we have a list of all available sensors. Depends on your use. You can use one of them. For example, since I'm going to use in this tutorial from Sentinel-2 data, I'm going to put on Sentinel-2. And if you are interested, you can define your wavelengths unit. You can see two options and also the data of your data that you downloaded. As the first steps, I'm going to create a virtual raster of bandset to collect some training data for my random forest classifier. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna open a file, go to the folder that I saved Sentinel-2 data. Very good. I'm gonna collect 13 bands of Sentinel-2 data that we have here until band 12. Click on open. All of them will be available like this, and also we will have one band set. This is one band set. As I said before, I'm going to create a virtual raster of band sets. To do this, it's better to select all the bands like this by pressing Ctrl on your keyboard. Define the wavelengths, Sentinel-2, and create a virtual raster. Again, I'm gonna do this. When it's down, you can click on run. It's gonna ask you to select a folder. I'm gonna do this like this. Back to the main folder, land use. Inside the land use, I'm creating a folder named band set. And select this folder. You will hear an alarm like this. When it's down, it's gonna be turned off. Right now, we don't see anything in my screen. It's normal. In order to be visualized, you can use RGB, one of the composite, for example, this one. When I do this, you can see the virtual that we created before. Okay, very good. Until now, it's very good. Right now, I'm gonna back to my SCP, and in the next step, I'm gonna create some training data. To do this, I will use this one, training input. We have two options here. The first one is related to open a training input. If we have already some ready training inputs, just easy to click on that, define your output or let's say folder. You can call them and open inside the SCP. Otherwise, you can create them by yourself. In order to do this, create a new training input, click on that, define a folder if you are interested. For example, training input, and also a name like LULC, and save. When it's down, you can see all the information have been successfully saved. In the next step, I'm going to show and also give you some information regarding these parts because they are one of the most important parts of SCP. MCID is related to macro class ID, and also MC name is related to macro class name. Imagine we have a macro class ID 1 as, for example, the first one, it's going to be vegetation. As a class ID, we have a 1, and as the class 1, we have, for example, forest. This one, it's going to be changed by ourselves. For example, if I'm going to go to the next macro class, for example, water bodies, I'm going to change it to 2. But this one is going to be changed automatically. Right now, we created first macro class and also a class. I'm going to do this and use create an ROI polygon in order to collect my training data. But remember, first, we have different composite that you can use in order to have a better visualization for better collection. For example, you can use for agriculture this combination for Sentinel-2. Over vegetation analysis, you can use this one, or land water, you can use this one. Depends on your preferences, you can choose one of them. For example, for natural colors, as I'm using, this is the main one that I'm using right now here, that I will show you, and also I will change in the next step. Okay, in order to do this, I'm gonna click on create ROI, zoom in. It's worth to remember that in order to collect some training data, you have to press Control on your keyboard all the time, like this. Press Control on your keyboard and start collecting sample points like this. When you finished, it's easy to just right click. As you can see, it's been selected. The next one, like this, again. You can do this for several parts of your study area if you are interested, of course. Try to collect the data all over your study area because it's going to be increased the accuracy of your classification. Okay, very good. When you finish, let me collect another one from here. Okay, when you finished, it's easy to click here, save temporary ROI to training input. It's going to show you the process of saving this class. Depends on the number of training data that you are collecting for each class, it's gonna take a while. Okay, in the next part, in the next class, I'm gonna go to collect some data for, let's say, it's better for agricultural land. I I don't want to change the macro class name. I'm gonna change the class name like agriculture, that they are cultivated. Again, use create ROI, back to the area like this. Press Ctrl on your keyboard and collect your data. Very good. I'm gonna do this in different parts of my image. This one too. These are different classes, but I don't want to extend the lengths of tutorial in order to do this. I'm collecting, or let's say I'm assigning agricultural land for all these cultivated lands, but of course there are different pieces of vegetation here, for example rice or wheat, let's say. Okay, very good. When it's down, you can click on Save Temporary ROI as training input again. Right now, I'm gonna change the macro class ID and also name to water bodies. But I don't want to change the class ID because it's gonna be changed automatically. As you can see, it's gonna go to next one 3, but I'm changing vegetation to water body. Here also we have these options to change the color of our macro class and also classes. As the macro class one, I'm gonna give it like this. As the forest, it's better to have something like this. And the agriculture, it's gonna be like this. I think it's a better one. This one too. Okay, very good. I'm gonna go to the next one, water bodies. As the class name, I'm gonna start with C. Again, from create ROI. It's easy to collect some data for C since it's covering most part of our image tile. Again, press Ctrl on your keyboard. Very good. Save ROI as a training input again. the process of saving. Alright, it's gonna take a while. In the next one, I'm gonna go to the next class, this time for example, we don't have any, let's say, I think I'm looking for dam and also a river to see that we need another class or not. I think, yeah, we need this time for, let's say, dam, the other class, again from create ROI. I'm gonna go to the dam, find them, use control on your keyboard, again, collect the sample points for this class 2. Okay, very good. Again, save the collection, change the color if you're interested. For example, for this one, I'm gonna use the water body, this color. For the sea, this one is good. And for the dam, this one should be appropriate. Okay, the next class, I'm gonna go to the barland. Again, change the macro class name and ID to 3. Change the class name to bar. Use creating ROI. Start collecting sample points. This one is much more easier since we have a large area as a barland. You can see we can collect them by much more confident. Okay. Save again our collection in order to go to the next one. As the next one, I'm gonna use as a uncultivated. From create ROI. For example, these parts are uncultivated. Press on your keyboard in order to collect training data for this class 2. By increasing the number of sample points, you will have a better accuracy for your classification. Then I suggest to do this more accurately by collecting much more data. Okay, very good. Again, I'm gonna save this one too. I want to change the color too. As the borderland we have this color, it's gonna be appropriate. The borderland we have orange, I think this one is good. And uncultivated land, this one I think it's a very good choice. I'm gonna change the macro class ID as the final class. This one is gonna be 4, and this time the name should be built up area. We have some, I think city is a good name here. You can change to anything that you are interested. Then I'm gonna use create a ROI, find the cities, use control on your keyboard, collect sample points. Okay, very good until now. Try to collect much more data sets as I said before. Since the spatial resolution of Sentinel-2 is 10 meter or some bands 20 meters, you can see we don't have a very good resolution. Okay, very good. This time also for built up area, we collected some sample points. Click on save. Change the color to, for example, built up area. It's going to be like this as the macro class, and also city. I'm going to have like this. Very good. Until now, it's okay. I'm going to go to the next step. This time for random forest classification. This part from band processing, we have a classification. Here we have the input. It's asking about the select the input band set. Since we have one band set, I'm going to use one. If you have several band sets that they are going to be listed here, this is one band set. I'm going to use this one. However, if you have different band sets, it's going to be listed here. You can choose, for example, 2, 3, 4, and etc. The use training, you can choose to use macro class ID or class ID. It's better to use class ID. And also I'm gonna leave them in default since I don't need them. Here we have different algorithms for classification. As you can see, as I said before, I'm gonna apply a random forest here and also different parameters that you can see here. I'm gonna give you some information regarding these parameters that I have prepared before. Okay, let's start like this. Here we have a random forest, as you can see, and we have a number of trees. As you can see from the, let's do like this. As you can see from the information on the right part of my screen, number of trees. If you set many, let's say, decision trees, it's going to increase improve the stability of your classification, however, increase computation time. Then be careful about how many trees you are going to set as the minimum number to split. As you can see from here, we have explanation like this: minimum number of sample required for a node split. Then higher values reduce overfitting. Then pay attention, if you want to reduce overfitting during your training, you can use or increase this number. And the other option is related to max features, that it's going to be here like this one, max features. Again, defines how many features to consider when you're splitting a node. That is related to previous one, I mean minimum number of splits. As the one VS reset we have, if you check it, it's going to enable the one V rest strategy for multiple classification, that we are going to do the same thing since we have different classes here. The next one is cross validations, enables cross validation for evaluations. I think it's better to let's say check this one too. And so balance class weight, that it's going to give a weight to each class, as you can see from the information also on the right part of my screen. And find the best estimator. It's going to enable perform hyperparameter search. And the final one is a calculate classification confidence ratios. Apart from this, and also you can have information from help. You can see classification here, random forest. Okay, random forest, and a brief information regarding each parameters you can find here. It's better to have a look at them, and I think they are going to be useful for you. When you define your parameters, or let's say different options, and check where you are interested, you can click on run. It's going to ask you about the output folder. For example, this time I'm going to say result. Inside the result, the name LULC. When I click on save, it's gonna take a while, since I'm using a tile of an image for classification. You can see its process here. Okay, very good. The final result has been listed here. You can see we have a wonderful, let's say, classification result. From here you can see our classification. I think the random forest worked very well for this purpose.